Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to transform your life? To feel empowered, energized, and truly alive in a way you haven't felt in a long time? Today I want to talk to you about something simple, yet incredibly powerful. The 10-day challenge to change your life. Now I know some of you might be thinking, 10 days? That's not enough time to make a real change. But I'm here to tell you that it is enough. In fact, 10 days could be the beginning of something truly life-changing. You see, we don't need months of planning or years of preparation to start making a change. Real transformation starts with small, intentional steps. And that's what a 10-day challenge can offer, an opportunity to create a shift in your life without feeling overwhelmed. You don't have to change everything at once. Focus on one small thing. Whether it's taking better care of your health, practicing gratitude, or learning something new, that's the beauty of it. But let me tell you something. It's not just about taking action. It's about showing up each and every day. Consistency is what turns an idea into a habit, and habits are what shape your future. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Even if some days feel harder than others, you're still moving forward. And that, my friends, is what matters most. Now some of you might be asking, can I really change my habits in 10 days? Well, let me share this with you. Change doesn't happen overnight, but 10 days is enough to plant the seeds of change. What you start in these 10 days can be the foundation for new routines, healthier choices, and a mindset that serves you better in the long run. But here's a crucial point to remember. Be kind to yourself. Change isn't always easy, and there will be days when you fall short, when things don't go as planned. That's okay. What's important is that you don't give up. Show yourself some compassion. Understand that you are human and that every step, every effort, is a step toward the life you deserve. So I challenge you, starting today, to commit to your 10-day challenge. Pick something that excites you, something that aligns with your vision of who you want to be. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier, or taking a walk every day, or even just sitting down to meditate for 5 minutes. Small acts of self-care, small acts of intention. At the end of the 10 days, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself how far you've come. Recognize the changes, no matter how small. You'll be amazed at how much you've already achieved. But remember, this is just the beginning. Because once you've taken those first steps, you'll see just how much more you are capable of. When it comes to making changes in our lives, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. We often set big goals or envision drastic transformations that require monumental effort. The pressure to change everything at once can be discouraging, especially when we are faced with our own fears, doubts, and the weight of our current habits. But the truth is, lasting change does not have to be drastic or immediate. Sometimes all it takes is a small, focused step in the right direction. That's the power of starting with a 10-day challenge. In just 10 days, you have the opportunity to break free from the routine you've been stuck in, to step into something new, and to lay the foundation for the changes you've been longing for. The key here is that it's not about making everything perfect, or radically changing your life in one giant leap. It's about starting small, starting with something you can manage, something that excites you, and something that feels achievable. A 10-day challenge creates a structure that feels attainable while also providing enough time for real change to begin. This is an important point to grasp. Real transformation often begins in the smallest of moments. It's not about the massive actions, but rather the small, intentional choices you make every single day. Whether it's deciding to wake up 10 minutes earlier, adding a bit more movement into your day, or journaling your thoughts before bed, these seemingly minor changes have a cumulative effect. They don't just shift your external reality, they begin to change your internal landscape as well. In these 10 days, you're giving yourself the permission to evolve, slowly and gently. Each day you show up for yourself, you're rewiring your mindset, challenging your old habits, and giving yourself the chance to develop new, healthier patterns. This isn't about perfection, it's about progression. You don't need to be perfect or get everything right. In fact, trying to be perfect can often paralyze us. The truth is, it's okay to fall short. What matters is that you keep going. Small changes often don't feel like much at first, but over time they add up. Just imagine a small snowball rolling down a hill, gradually gaining momentum. That's how transformation works. It's the sum of these little actions that will lead to a much bigger shift than you realize. And that's why starting small is such a powerful approach to change. It eliminates the stress of trying to overhaul everything at once. You don't need to completely reinvent your life overnight. Instead, you're simply creating the space to make better choices. In fact, this is one of the key reasons why a 10-day challenge is so effective. It's not about making radical or impossible changes. It's about making the right, sustainable steps that will eventually take you exactly where you want to go. For many of us, starting with small steps also feels less intimidating. It allows us to begin without the overwhelming pressure to succeed at everything. In a world that constantly tells us to do more, be more, and have more, a 10-day challenge can offer us a way to breathe, to slow down, and to focus on creating a meaningful, intentional shift. It becomes less about the end goal and more about the journey, the small moments of courage, the small victories, and the learning that happens every step of the way. The beauty of starting small is that it creates space for you to grow at your own pace. There's no rush. There's no deadline to meet. By taking things one step at a time, you give yourself the freedom to grow naturally. And by the end of the 10 days, you'll have built a foundation for lasting change, because you've been consistent. You've shown up every day, made choices that align with your desires, and given yourself the time and grace to evolve. The 10-day challenge is a reminder that lasting change doesn't require drastic measures. It's about taking small, meaningful actions every single day, allowing you to grow with ease, confidence, and self-compassion. When we think about transformation, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of instant results. We want to see dramatic changes quickly, and we expect that the path to success will be smooth and linear. But the truth is, transformation is rarely immediate, and the journey toward meaningful change is often much more complex than we anticipate. This is where consistency plays a critical role. It's not about having one moment of brilliance or making a single huge leap forward. It's about showing up day after day and making steady progress toward your goals. Consistency is what turns the idea of change into a reality. Without it, all the enthusiasm and inspiration you may feel at the start will eventually fade. When you commit to showing up every day, even when it feels hard or when you don't see immediate results, that's when real progress happens. You begin to shift your mindset, adjust your behavior, and rewire your habits. You may not notice the changes on a day-to-day basis, but over time, these small efforts add up, and you'll be amazed at the transformation that occurs. The key to understanding consistency is recognizing that it's not about perfection, it's about the long-term commitment to your journey. Each day doesn't need to be a huge success, but it's important that you keep moving forward. In fact, the days when things feel difficult or when you don't see immediate results are often the most significant. These are the moments when you are building resilience, determination, and inner strength. Consistency is about showing up even when it's hard, and it's during these times that you build the foundation for lasting change. Think of consistency as a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. In the beginning it might feel awkward or even frustrating, but over time it becomes second nature. It's the same with any goal or challenge you set for yourself. Whether you're trying to eat healthier, exercise more, or cultivate a positive mindset, it's the consistent effort that will bring you closer to your desired results. The more you commit to daily actions, no matter how small, the more you reinforce the new behaviors you're trying to adopt. It's easy to get discouraged when we don't see instant changes. But if you commit to consistency, you begin to understand that the process itself is just as important as the outcome. It's not about getting everything perfect or meeting your goal by a specific deadline. It's about showing up for yourself every single day. Even the smallest steps matter. Whether it's taking a few minutes to meditate, choosing a healthier food option, or writing down your goals, these actions, when done consistently, will compound over time to create meaningful results. One of the reasons consistency is so powerful is that it helps to build momentum. When you start showing up for your goals every day, you begin to build a rhythm and flow. Even on days when you don't feel particularly motivated, your previous efforts can help carry you through. The more you practice consistency, the more ingrained the behavior becomes. Eventually, it no longer feels like a forced effort, but a natural part of your routine. This doesn't mean that there won't be setbacks. Life will throw challenges your way, and there will be times when you miss a day or fall short of your expectations. But that's where consistency really shines. It's not about beating yourself up over a slip-up. It's about picking yourself back up and continuing on your path. A setback doesn't have to derail your progress. It's just a part of the process. Consistency means you keep going, even when things don't go as planned, because you know that the effort you're putting in every day is leading you towards something greater. The beauty of consistency is that it allows you to build momentum without feeling overwhelmed. By focusing on making small, consistent efforts every day, you gradually create a positive feedback loop. The more you show up for yourself, the more you begin to believe in your ability to change, and the more motivated you become. It becomes a self-fulfilling cycle. Each small action reinforces your commitment and brings you closer to your goals. In the end, consistency is what transforms your dreams and desires into reality. It's not about dramatic shifts, but rather about the quiet, daily commitment to becoming the person you want to be. By consistently making progress, even in small ways, you will eventually reach your goals and experience the transformation you've been seeking. When we set out to make changes in our lives, we often do so with the best of intentions. We want to improve ourselves, grow, and break free from old habits. Yet, as we work toward our goals, we can sometimes feel like the changes aren't coming fast enough or aren't taking root. This is because changing deeply ingrained habits and behaviors takes time, and it's not always as easy as we expect. That's where the power of rewiring our habits comes into play. In order to make lasting changes, we need to be intentional about shifting our mindset and rewiring the very habits that have been holding us back. At the heart of the 10-day challenge is the opportunity to start rewiring your habits. We all have patterns, whether it's how we start our day, the way we think about ourselves, or the choices we make in moments of stress or temptation. These habits, whether positive or negative, are deeply embedded in our daily lives. Changing these habits isn't about simply deciding to do things differently. It's about consciously redirecting your actions and thoughts to create new, healthier habits that support the person you want to become. Rewiring habits takes more than just willpower. It requires consistency and self-awareness. You need to be mindful of the actions you take and the thoughts that influence those actions. For example, if you have a habit of reaching for unhealthy food when you're stressed, changing that pattern involves more than just saying, "I won't do this anymore." You have to actively choose healthier responses when stress arises, whether that's taking a walk, practicing deep breathing, or reaching for a nourishing snack. Over time, These healthier choices become the new default, replacing the old habit with something more supportive. The 10-day challenge provides a unique opportunity to begin this process of rewiring. 10 days may seem like a short time, but it's enough to start forming new neural pathways in your brain. Every time you make a conscious choice to take a different action, your brain starts creating new connections. These connections, when reinforced consistently, begin to override old, unhelpful habits. The key to rewiring is understanding that change is gradual and requires ongoing reinforcement. 1 or 2 days of choosing a healthier option won't necessarily erase years of old patterns, but 10 days? 10 days is enough to start laying the foundation for a new way of thinking and behaving. In addition to replacing old habits, rewiring also involves creating positive rituals that support your goals. For example, if you're aiming to improve your physical health, your 10-day challenge might include things like waking up earlier to exercise or taking time each day to plan and prepare nourishing meals. These rituals can serve as anchors in your day, grounding you in healthy choices. As you repeat these actions, they become ingrained in your routine, and over time they become part of who you are. Instead of focusing on the big picture of trying to overhaul your entire life, you're focusing on creating small habits that will lead to a bigger shift down the road. Another important aspect of rewiring is being kind to yourself throughout the process. Old habits are often deeply tied to our emotions and mental states, and they can be difficult to break because they offer some form of comfort or relief. When you're working on rewiring your habits, it's essential to practice self-compassion. You might stumble along the way, and that's okay. The key is to approach each setback with curiosity rather than judgment. Following out, Lowell will offer you a final piece of the puzzle, which is self-confidence and serenity. Ask yourself what led to the old habit, what you can learn from the experience, and how you can move forward with greater awareness. This mindset allows you to stay on course and keep reinforcing the new habits without getting discouraged. It's also important to recognize that rewiring your habits isn't a linear process. Some days progress will feel easy and natural. On other days, it might feel like you're taking 2 steps back for every step forward. This is completely normal. The journey toward change is not a straight line, but a series of peaks and valleys. What matters is that you keep moving forward, even when it feels difficult. By showing up for yourself each day and committing to your challenge, you're making consistent progress. And that consistent progress will eventually lead to the transformation you're seeking. Ultimately, rewiring your habits through a 10-day challenge is a powerful way to create meaningful change in your life. It's about being intentional with your choices, reinforcing positive behaviors, and being patient with the process. Over time, these small shifts in your habits will lead to a larger, more profound transformation. Change doesn't happen overnight, but with consistency and the willingness to show up for yourself, you can begin the journey of rewiring your habits and creating a life that truly aligns with your values and goals. As we embark on the journey of self-improvement, it's easy to get caught up in the idea of achieving perfection. We set high expectations for ourselves, often expecting rapid results and flawless progress. Yet, when we inevitably face setbacks or don't meet our own standards, we can become discouraged and start to question our abilities. This is why, during any challenge or growth process, it's so crucial to practice self-love and compassion. These qualities are not just nice to have, they are essential for maintaining motivation, preventing burnout, and ensuring that we stay on track even when things get tough. Self-love is often misunderstood as something that only comes into play when everything is going perfectly. But true self-love is about accepting and honoring yourself, flaws and all, throughout the entire process of growth. It's about recognizing that you are deserving of love and kindness, not because you're perfect, but because you are human. When you take on a challenge, whether it's a 10-day challenge or a longer transformation, practicing self-love means being gentle with yourself when you fall short. It means embracing your imperfections and not allowing them to define you or derail your progress. Compassion is a key element of self-love. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a close friend. We are often our own harshest critics, holding ourselves to standards that we would never expect others to meet. Yet, when we face challenges, it's important to step back and ask ourselves, would I be this hard on a friend who is trying to grow and improve? The answer is usually no. So why do we treat ourselves so differently? Practicing self-compassion means showing yourself grace when things don't go as planned. It means acknowledging that setbacks are part of the process, not a sign of failure. When you approach your journey with self-compassion, the 10-day challenge is a perfect example of how self-love and compassion work together to create lasting change. A 10-day commitment to making a positive shift in your life might seem small, but it can feel daunting, especially if you're used to setting long-term, sometimes overwhelming goals. It's easy to become frustrated if you don't see instant results or if things don't unfold as quickly as you would like. This is where self-compassion becomes crucial. Rather than beating yourself up for not achieving your goal in record time, practice patience with yourself. Acknowledge the effort you've put in, regardless of whether or not you've hit every target. Remember, it's the daily commitment, not the outcome of a single day, that matters most. When you approach a challenge with self-love, you set yourself up for success. Self-love allows you to approach obstacles from a place of understanding rather than frustration. Instead of seeing mistakes or setbacks as reasons to give up, you can view them as opportunities to grow and learn. This shift in perspective is incredibly powerful, because it keeps you moving forward, even when things don't go as planned. When you love and accept yourself, you don't give up at the first sign of difficulty. You keep going because you know that each step, even the imperfect ones, brings you closer to your goal. Self-compassion also plays a critical role in sustaining long-term motivation. When you are kind to yourself, you reduce the risk of burnout and exhaustion. Growth takes time, and there will be days when you feel like giving up. But when you treat yourself with compassion, you're more likely to pick yourself back up after a setback and keep going. Instead of feeling like a failure when things go wrong, you'll see it as part of the natural ebb and flow of growth. By practicing self-compassion, you create a cycle of positivity that keeps you engaged and motivated to continue your challenge, even when the going gets tough. Self-love and compassion help you stay connected to the deeper reasons behind your challenge. If you're doing something for external validation or out of obligation, it's easy to lose motivation when things get difficult. But if you approach your goals with self-love, you're reminding yourself that this journey is about creating a better version of yourself, not about meeting someone else's expectations. The act of showing love and kindness to yourself in the face of challenges reinforces the understanding that you are worthy of improvement, growth, and success, simply because you exist. This internal motivation is far more powerful and sustainable than any external pressure. Embracing self-love and compassion is about recognizing your inherent worth and treating yourself with the same care and understanding that you would give to someone you love deeply. When you bring these qualities into your daily life, especially during a 10-day challenge or any other journey of transformation, you create a safe space for growth, healing, and progress. By honoring yourself, you allow the space for real, lasting change to take place, without the burden of judgment or unrealistic expectations. In doing so, you open yourself up to a future where you continue to grow, learn, and become the best version of yourself.